Hello there, VOD, and hello, stream. Right, I'm just setting up. There's going to be timestamps in the What's It My Bob if you're watching the VOD. Time to ping people on Discord. Alright. I'm actually... Yep, the audio should be coming through. That's good. Right, well... And the corner of that monitor is like just in shot, which is really annoying. I need RAM, don't I? Hey Alex. I'm still not necessarily as well set up as I could be. I've realised I have some random RAM here, ironically, but I don't actually have appropriate RAM for what I'm doing, so I should probably try and dig some of that out. Yeah, this is not going to be a very structured one, I'm afraid. More just... I think there's a chance that one of those might blow up when I test them. And if it does blow up, I want it to be on stream. What RAM should I even use? They can be a bit picky, can't they? I should probably use some kind of Micron. Or PSC. I do have Micron. There we are. That's my tray of Micron. Which DDR generation is this? This board is DDR3, but it's early DDR3. Let's go with these. 1333-655 at 1.85 volts. The dual rank. It probably prefers the outer slots. Those heat spreaders are indeed... I'm still shouting even though I'm a bit close to the mic now. Probably okay. Right, now I need to get this RAM tray out of the way somewhere. This is the problem, is I don't have enough space to put stuff. And I've only gone and bought more stuff. That's what all of these bloody motherboards are. So now I have even less space to put stuff. Okay, that's alright. GPU. Oh, I have not set up the HDMI cables. That's an oversight, isn't it? Let's before I put the GPU in, actually, you might notice there's an odd thing just here. I think the board has taken a knock in this area because actually the SPDIF optical connector is a bit off and the analog one is very off, so it's like it's taken a big hard knock and it's ripped off the analog audio connector. Hey Sean. Sorry, not analog. It's digital copper wire audio connector thingy, I think. The board does actually come with a sound card, which this one did have in the box. It's a separate sound card, and this was the way of like having good, not on-board audio, but good audio that came with the board. Actually, the accessories, the listing said it was board only, but the accessories have been really good so far. So it also came with these. Sorry, I'm not good at centering things. Those are dog tags. The camera doesn't seem to like to focus on them, but they're stamped with, I think, a serial number for the motherboard. So these ones are number 9855, which is cool. It also, these boards came with a 120mm case fan, which this board, that's still in the box. If anyone's wondering, those are the specs for the fan. And a bunch of other stuff. There's an air cooling option, which is literally just a 40mm fan. Because if you force enough air through a water block, and that is a water block, then it becomes an air cooler. And it also comes with this chimney looking motherfucker, which sort of screws on top of there, and that is actually an extension for using it as a dry ice or LN2 pot. And that's something that came with the board, although this one, one of the corners is broken, unfortunately. Not that that's a big deal, really. Anyway, what else do I need to sort out? I need to sort out the HDMI cable. So right now, that's a display port to HDMI cable, which is, I can hook it up, but it's annoying to hook up. So I have two cables here, and one of them is already plugged into my capture card. Which is plugged in? Okay, so the flat one is plugged into the output. So I'll plug the flat one here into the monitor. And then there's a round one here. So I'll plug the round one into the GPU. And then where does that round one go? Here we are. So I'll plug that into the other side of the capture card. Hopefully nothing's fallen over. Right. Well. CPU installation next. The socket on this one looks good. I'm just using a random Pentium because this is literally functionality testing. I'm not expecting this to be a particularly interesting stream. Right. Cooler. I have a cooler. It makes jangly noises. I need to make sure the push pins are set correctly. So at the moment they don't hold in place, so you need to rotate the push pin and then it clips in place, and if you rotate it back it unclips. So they're all set correctly now. Right, thermal paste. I'm not going to plug in any SATA drives just yet. I'll do that in a minute. Little blob of GD900 there. Doesn't need to be anything special, not for this. Yeah, bit of a general life update. My back is definitely, like, it's doing better, but right now I'm just kind of in the situation where I'm worried and I don't want to push it. Like, it's not that I'm in any particular amount of pain, it's just that I don't want to, you know, cause a bigger problem for myself down the road is the thing. that push pin in? I think that push pin's in. Cooler feels tight. But yeah, so I'm trying to sort of make sure that I don't immediately overdo it. The new microphone setup, which you might... Oh, hello. CPU fan header is bent. There's a bent pin there. Right. Is that going to go on now? Yeah. So I don't have a mic clipped to me anymore. Instead, I have a condenser mic just on the desk. That gives me a lot more freedom. It gives me freedom to move around more. It gives me freedom about just what physical position I'm in. I don't need to worry about where the mic cable is. And that hopefully is going to help me to keep a bit of load off my back. Right. Foxconn boards are annoying because normally the 24 pin would plug in like that, right? But Foxconn boards have it oriented the other way around. So I need to turn it around and try and plug it in like that instead. They do this with the SATA connectors too. They just have them like the wrong way up. It's weird, it's annoying. Classic Foxconn, basically. Right, so no drives plugged in yet, but I've got GPU, CPU, RAM, motherboard, CPU power. Might as well plug the system fan in down here. Are there any more bent pins anywhere that I can see? No, I think it was just the CPU fan header. Right. Now, which button is which? So that's power on. That one's reset and that one's clear CMOS. You don't want to get those two mixed up. Oh, you can't even see. But yeah, there's a black button there for reset and a yellow button just above it for clear CMOS. So let's power it on and see what happens. Well, double F and a reset. That's an interesting start. Oh, here we go. It's moved on to 40. Yep. This is about how they normally behave. Not too worried. I had better switch you to something where you can... And I'm back. When I was setting up the audio before, I only set it up for one scene. Right, I forgot to plug the keyboard in. That seems worthwhile. Let's do that. And let's have a sit down. Yeah, the regular Foxconn Blackops that I use also has weird booting issues. Like not issues, but like it just takes a couple of goes from cold. So I'm not too worried about this board taking a couple of goes. I think that's just normal. I'm a little worried about it sticking on 7F now, but clearly it's capable of booting. Come on. I'll be completely honest and say I'm not necessarily expecting anything that interesting to happen this stream. But if you want to, you know, I guess ask any questions in the chat, feel free, fire away. I'm going to try and keep talking. Alright, so we've booted up again. Well, here's an opportunity to see the BIOS on a Foxconn board. So, most of it is kind of your standard Socket 775 era BIOS. You know, nothing weird going on here. So that all of those are, they're basically what you'd expect. We do have this smart fan function, which is cool, although the option just seems to be smart fan, not like, you know, what smart entails for the fan. And then we have, oh, there's board information as well. So there's, you know, what's installed, MAC addresses, stuff like that. And then here's our overclocking menu. So we've got, you know, I like this. I like that it just, oh, you can't even see that. Let me move the camera. Looks a lot like your Gigabyte board, actually. Yep. So we actually have meaningful help there. There's like a little overclocking tip for you. So that's nice. So, you know, these item helps are actually somewhat meaningful. Frequency unlimit. So that's unlocked multiplier on stuff like a QX, you know, 9650 or something. I like that there's a cold boot bug fix option. Magnus says because one is unacceptable. Yes, well, when you have the option to buy 4 Foxconn Blackopses for like £21 each, you take that option. Oh, that's interesting. So, wait, right. I would need to actually enable overclocking here to change anything in these menus, but you can see down the bottom there, the adjustments are for blue dim and white dim, so that's actually referring to the colour of those slots. So that's cool. Alex says, how did you get the boards? eBay. They were listed on UK eBay. There wasn't an international shipping option. So because they were so cheap, I snaffled them. So let's show off the manual OC options for a sec. Oh yeah, we have OC gear, so that's I believe that's actually profiles, but then there's also like a couple of weird extra functions that they've added for some reason. Voltages. So this is a common thing with Foxconn. I think DFI do it as well. So you have your VID adjustment here, right, and that goes up to 1.6 volts. And then to go higher, you have a multiplier on top of the VID. So rather than you entering the voltage and the board figuring it out, you do need a calculator to enter voltage on this board. In general, this is a board with plenty of voltage range. In terms of memory voltage, we've got nearly 2.9 volts, for example. And it can also go down to 1.4, so that's neat. Northbridge voltage, I think some people like to really push it, and the board will let you. I think VTT is the other big one, and it's pretty big steps, but it will go pretty high. So, yeah. CPU PLL, you can reduce PLL, which I believe is sometimes useful, as well as raising it to ridiculous levels. Anyway, that's enough of a BIOS tour, I think. I need to actually see if this board is going to boot up into an operating system. So actually, I've got a memtest disk in here, and then I've got an SSD down here which has Windows 7 on it, which I think it will work on 775. The operating system on this SSD is kind of fucked, but I think it will work. Hopefully. You'll be running XP, I assume. 7 should be fine. I mean, you know, in the same way that you would run Windows 10 on Haswell. Once again, the board just takes a minute. The Foxconn Blackops that I use day to day, it has this function that allows you to change the splash screen to your own custom image. And the one that I use day to day, the previous owner used this function, and so the splash screen is a picture of his dogs in the snow. I don't know where I would get the software to change it, because Foxconn took down their website, but also I don't want to change it because that's adorable. Ah, right, so CMOS checksum error. Did I actually... Okay, to be fair, I don't think I saved and exited normally, so let's load optimize defaults, and then let's leave it set to boot from hard disk, and that should boot up into our operating system, hopefully. Right, I don't think I want to test too extensively on stream, but basically I want to... that was interesting. I want to make sure that the boards aren't, you know, literally going to explode. I want to make sure that they actually boot up and run. Because that's the main thing, and that's like where the jeopardy is, right? Is that you turn it on and it just immediately explodes. And that's the bit that I want to catch on camera if it happens. So yeah, this operating system is all kinds of fucked, and also I don't have my not camera. I don't have my mouse plugged in. So let's just, yeah. So we can see here. Why is that selected both of them? So we can see, just doing keyboard navigation, that yes, you know, everything's detected that's plugged in. I should really test the USB ports while I have the board up and running. So let's plug the mouse into a USB port, and let's see what happens. Oh, well, fuck all so far. Right. Give it a minute. This is a little concerning, because obviously you can tell from the audio ports being messed up that it has taken a knock. Ah, there we are. Your device is ready to use. There we go. So that USB port works. Presumably the next one up is going to work. Yep, that's... Yep. Yep. and that this is how you test a motherboard. Yeah, I'm not going to run through all the SATA ports right now. Come on, that's USB port. Hey, there we go. I think there's a Firewire port above that. Yeah. Alright. So this board behaves itself. No obvious problems. So let's tear down and move on to board number 2. Yeah, not a whole lot going on. Unplug the fan. Right. Unplug CPU power. There we are. RAM next. Okie dokie. CPU fan connector. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you ship the boards or did you pick them up? The seller shipped them. I didn't ship them, but yeah, they were shipped. I'm not taking the blame for the packaging, which, I mean, the packaging was alright, to be fair. But I don't know what the provenance of these boards is, like what the history of them is. And actually, I'll show you something, one sec. So, a couple of them came with like full boxes. They all came with partial boxes. But like, it's filthy. It's just like grime coating the lid. So, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, this board seems to work, so I'm not going to spend ages trying to repack it very neatly, but I'm just going to... Is this the anti-static it came in? Yeah, that's the right size. Found myself on the test bench. Oh! I nearly forgot to take the processor out. And pop the little pin protector back. There we go. What is the plural of Blackops, anyway? Is it Blackopses, or would it be Blackopsen? I feel like it should be Blackopsen. Anyway, the box for this one is a bit screwed up, but whatever. The listing actually said that they didn't come with boxes or accessories or anything. And they've all come with boxes, and so far they've come with accessories, so yeah. Right. Where can I put it that's out of the way but also not where the other ones were? Let's just put it sort of next to them. Okay. board number 2. Interestingly, board number 2 has different packaging. How do I take this out of the packaging? It's a bit weird. Can I just lift it from there? Yeah, I can lift it from there. Okay. Right. So there's board number 2. Notable already for the fact that the water block is bare rather than having the hoses attached. I mean, it's got a heat pipe up to the VRM heatsink, so I'm not too bothered. But yeah, let's see. Socket looks fine. Having a little bit of trouble locating the CPU there. What's going on? Come on. Is that in? Yep, that's as it should be. Right. Starting to question whether this was a good idea to stream. I think it was a good idea to stream. I've missed streaming, to tell you the truth. Because I didn't stream on Wednesday and I skipped Saturday as well. And I wasn't planning to stream again until like more than a week from now. Which would suck. I like streaming. It's just can be a bit hard on my back, but of course what I'm doing now does involve an awful lot of leaning over systems. So the audio section on this hasn't been bashed, which is nice. There's a little bit of dust on it, but just around the PCIe slot there, but not a huge amount. The copper looks very... Oh, I just scraped that across the OBT, but I think it's fine. Yeah, what was I saying? The copper on it looks very sort of clean and unblemished on this example. So that's nice. Dab more thermal paste there. Reset the push pins. On the hideous Intel stock cooler. That seated. Seems to be seated. Is everything where it needs to be? If you push down on it too hard before everything's in place, you can end up bending things. But I think that's all in place. CPU fan's not bent on this one either. This one also has the full accessory boxes. That's interesting. Does it have the dog tags? Got some stickers. A load of stickers. A whole load of Foxconn stickers there. It's amazing to think that, you know, Foxconn were once like an enthusiast brand. Put my other hand there, will that help it? Oh no, because I put my hand the wrong side. Yeah. I forgot to maximise the camera, well, whatever. This is not a high effort stream. So, I don't think. No, there's a bunch of cables in the box as well, but no dog tags for this one, sadly. Right, what else? Memory and power on. Okay. Well, that powered straight on. Okay. That's slightly disconcerting. I've seated the GPU properly, haven't I? Yeah. Morning, Crispy. Fire extinguisher at the ready? No, I don't have a fire extinguisher. I should really Okay, apparently this is the scene where I have my camera and mic set up. So this one is not looking so good. Is everything seated properly? 24 pin? Yeah, it's seated. CPU power seated. I haven't plugged in the system fan. Let's plug the system fan in. You never know. But I'm a little concerned that it just powered straight on. But then we're not getting a postcode. That's worrying. Okay. I've had a fire before, and the last time I had a fire, it went out when I killed the power. So I'm hoping that I won't regret that I don't have a fire extinguisher. However, I am concerned that this isn't booting up. Okay, well, so probably the first thing I want to check is there's a clear CMOS jumper there. I want to compare that to the other board. What features do these boards have? They have a built-in speaker. They have a dry ice pot on the north bridge. That's the main thing, really. Well, dry ice, stroke liquid cooling, stroke all sorts. Right. One moment. Right, so on the board that works fine, the clear CMOS header is towards the postcode, which it is on this one as well. The BIOS select jumper is in a different position, though. So let's, where was it? So it was, 2 across? Yeah. These boards do have dual BIOS, and they have a jumper for it. So that's where the BIOS jumper was on the board that was behaving itself. That's made naff all difference. So let's put that back where it was. Right. Let's pop the CMOS. And do I have a blue LED? I try and keep a blue LED by my workstation. Right, yeah, here we are. So, right, so that battery's completely dead. Okay. So let me pick up a working battery. So this is a working one. And you see it lights the blue LED up. I know I could just stab them with a multimeter, but this is fun as well. Okay. So swapping in a working CMOS battery has done nothing. That makes me think this board might be dead. I'll try a PCI postcode reader just to see if it reports anything. Nope. Hey Matt. Yeah, a bit of an impromptu one because I've got a load of boards to test, and I thought they might not work, they might even blow up. Let's do it on stream. So this is board number 2, and this is not looking good. It powers up straight away, which is weird in itself. But then there's no postcode display whatsoever. Which, you feel like that would be the South Bridge or the Super I/O. Did the first work? Yeah, the first one worked. The first one, the SPDIF ports had a bash and they've been knocked out of position, but it did work. I'm going to try and go that side. No, it goes that side. I'll try the other PCIe slot because I don't know what else I can really do. Exactly the same behaviour. Right. That's weird. The board is kind of, I don't know, it feels not quite fully straight. Alright, well, let's tear it down and let's physically inspect it. Did I just scratch my monitor? I think I may have. Oh well. Okay. Whilst I remember, I'm going to take back my good CMOS battery. I've got a couple of Core 2 Duos you could be. Mate, I have so many fucking boards for this platform already. And CPUs. I've got tons of CPU. Not as many as you do, I don't think. For those not aware, Matt there from Tech Tested recently bought a great big bucket full of CPUs by weight. He's got some really interesting ones in there and just an absolute ton of Socket 775 chips. Nothing looks weird with the pins on the 24 pin. Nothing looks weird at all from this side, to be fair. I mean, the great thing is that I've dropped it in with exactly the same configuration that the previous board has. So it's definitely not like, oh well, your configuration isn't compatible with a Foxconn Blackops. Because yeah, they can be picky, but I have the benefit of multiple boards here. Alright, wow. There's 692 CPUs in total. Goodness me. Nothing smells off. Always worth checking that. There's no smell of burning or anything like that. No like charring on the pads either, which is always, you know, worth checking. You never know. I know someone who had one of these boards that exploded. I think he still has the board, to be fair. Alright. Well, let's inspect the back of that. Which I realise I'm not doing that in front of the camera, but that's because I need to be able to see it. But basically, the answer is I'm not seeing anything off at all. Obvious places to inspect, like the 24 pin, nothing's untoward there. Back of the CPU socket. Nice back plate on the VRM on these boards. There's some kind of there's number 5 written there. I don't know if that's anything. Crispy says I'd never want to touch another after that. Well, yeah, but to be fair, the guy that it exploded on is not known for treating hardware well. Okay, so this is a little bit weird. If you look at the back of the here, the back of the postcode, one of the pins is bent over, and they're all very like long, untrimmed pins. So that's a bit weird. Makes you wonder if something's been done there. Maybe one or two of the memory slots are a little bit off as well. Which, unfortunately, I don't think I'd be able to show that on camera at all. So let's pop that one back in the box. So that's the first non-working board. Damn. Crispy says RAM. I literally just tested a different board with the same RAM. I really don't think it's the RAM. Also, like, there's no... It's powering on right away, which the other board didn't do. And there's no postcode whatsoever, right? That's not how a board behaves when it doesn't like the RAM. Alright, let's put that one somewhere else then. Down there. Let's see what's behind door number 3. This one is... It's one where it's like, it's got the full box, but it's like a bit grimy. So I'm loving the idea of getting that out on my sofa, but there's nowhere else I can put it because my house is messy right now. Oh, and this one's been rattling around a bit in the box. Wonderful. So, okay, so this one genuinely is the board only and no accessories, other than the water block cover which it comes with. And oh, we've had the same, you can see this one has taken a bash just there, same as the other one did. So I wonder if these boards are actually from customer returns or something. And this board also has the really long legs on the postcode, so that's probably just normal, I guess. Something rattles slightly with it. Oh, hello. There's a capacitor there that is askew. Right. Interesting. Oh, it's the memory clips that are rattling, that makes sense. Well, I think the way that eBay works, I believe it would be possible for me to return just one of the boards and get a partial refund on the basis of that. That's not looking great. I mean, do I trust Corsair's short circuit protection? I trust it a hell of a lot more than I trust EVGA's, I'll tell you that much. My hope is that maybe this board is a customer return and the customer returned it because of this being bashed in. So the pins all look fine. Memory slots are sort of a little bit loose. What I'm going to do, because mounting the cooler is a pain in the ass, what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to I'll leave some thermal mass on top of the CPU. It's my dry ice pot there. The 775 chips do pull quite a lot of power, so you don't want to leave it that way for long. Is that fully seated? Yep, that's fully seated. That's fully seated. That'll be enough just to see if it posts. Do a BZ and slap a Wraith on there. I think the keep out zone actually might be a little bit tight on this board. I do have spare Wraiths, you know, as one does. I even did a DIY Wraith back in the day. Zip tying a 92mm fan onto an old AMD heat pipe cooler. I don't know if I still, I must still have that somewhere, but I think I removed the zip ties. But yeah, if you want to see what that looks like, Tech Tested has a video about doing the same thing on YouTube. Right, well. Okay, that's a good sign. It's not immediately powered on. We're getting a postcode. Matt says I was about to say that. Yes, but because I said it, it's not self-promotion. Okie dokie. Right, so we do have a warning that our CPU fan not roll, which is, you know, good old Foxconn. They have the same thing on the Blackops. Alright. So let's kill the power there, because we need to mount a cooler, clearly. Well, that's actually not warmed up at all. Drop more GD900 there. Okay. I mean, to be honest, if only 2 out of the 4 even work, then even if for some reason I'm not able to get my money back on the rest, that's still a good deal. Like, even for the 40 quid each. Which is not to say that that makes it okay. Because, you know, sellers should be honest and everything. You know, a seller's duty is to their contractual obligations, not to, you know, give the person a good deal anyway. I'm saying that in case this stream ends up as evidence of some sort. Come on, there we go. Right. Let's plug in. Got my mouse plugged in already. Let's plug some drives in. There we go. So our CPU fan roll now, so the board's going to be a bit happier with us. Plug the system fan in as well, why not? Whew. Fun little splash screen there. Looks a little bit sort of, a little bit Counter-Strike, you know. The keyboard is plugged in, isn't it? Yeah. That's interesting. It's not responding to keyboard input. Let's just hit reset. Oh, hello. Well, that's not happy, is it? I suspect that might be related to this. Alright. I'll hit the clear CMOS button. Yeah, I mean, I like that they've got speakers, and I will say this for Foxconn boards in general, like, they do a really good job of sounding like they're in genuine distress when something's going wrong. Alright. So that's booted up. Is that going to freeze on the splash screen again? Oh boy. Yeah. Is this going to 54 again? Yeah. I mean, there's the obvious, but let's check the CMOS battery. You never know. So the CMOS battery is presumably completely flat. Yeah, absolutely no sign of life whatsoever in my blue LED. So let's get one in that isn't flat, and let's see if that makes a difference. And the other thing is I'm not going to hit delete this time, I'm going to let it get to the post screen. If it gets to the post screen. So we've got to the splash screen. And nothing. Fuck all. Right. Oh boy. I'm going to try, actually let's try unplugging the SATA again, because that's the main thing that we changed. Because previously it did get as far as the splash screen, sorry, as far as the post screen rather. It got as far as, like, you know, CMOS checksum invalid, CPU fan not roll, da 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 da. Okay, that's really interesting. PC health status. Does that have voltages? So it's not screaming about any of the voltages right now, which is cool, I guess. Yeah, it's up and going. I unplugged the SATA cables. So let's load optimized defaults, save and exit. Seems fine. Yeah, you'd think. IDE for the win. I hope that's not necessary. Alright, well, that's got as far as it's going to without anything plugged in. So let's plug in one drive, and a disk drive, and let's see how it responds to that. So we saw the splash screen, but now it seems to have moved on from the splash screen. Does that mean we're going to be loading into memtest soon? Nope, we're not loading into memtest. Fuck all is happening. Right. Let's try a different port. The first one worked. I don't know if that's just blind luck. That's just FFing now. Let's kill power and kill it for a bit longer. Different drive. Yeah, I'll try a different drive next. But I just want to let it sit for a minute because I don't know, like it's weird that it's just sticking on FF, and that makes me think that I just didn't let it sit for long enough. So let's power back up now. Nope, that's sticking on FF. Okay. That's weird. Let's try our different drive. And that's also FFing now. How much do you think a working Black Ops is worth? A working one, I think it depends on the buyer. I think it would be between £50 and £100, whereas I paid £84 for 4 that were all supposed to be working boards with no accessories. And what I've got is so far 33% working boards, 66% of which come with accessories, but not complete accessories necessarily. It's interesting that it's just FFing now. What happens if I unplug both drives again? Oh, well, now it boots. Yeah, something in this board is really not happy about SATA ports. Oh, that's a fucker. Although that has beeped and then gone to FF again. Well, this is clearly not fully working. Well, shit indeed. If the next board doesn't work, I might have to swap, because obviously one possibility is that something has happened in relation to this clearly dodgy cap here, and it might have roasted my RAM. In fact, I should probably confirm that my RAM still works before I move on. Oh, I'd better not forget to take the CMOS battery back. Well, shit indeed. It's not looking great so far. Like, I mean, it puts me in an awkward position, because what I want to do is I want to, you know, supply them to people in the overclocking community. If I send these back to the, you know, e-waste trader, effectively, then they're probably just going in a scrap bin. They're probably getting, you know, fully stripped down for parts, which would be awful. But also, like, I don't want to be financially in the hole on these, and I have no interest in trying to repair them. I have, you know, I'm not the most capable person of doing that, and also I have a lot of other things to do. If there's only one working one, I'm keeping it, because I wanted a second Black Ops. It's the second, third and fourth that I was hoping to be able to pass on to people, but I mean, maybe even a non-working Black Ops would sell? I don't know. But the moment I try and sell them, like, I'm kind of giving up the ability to return them. Evening, Glenn. You arrive at a low point. The first Black Ops I tested seems fine. The second one has... It powers up immediately upon turning the power supply on. And there's no postcode, it doesn't boot or anything. This one has booted a couple of times, but has stopped now. There's a very dodgy looking capacitor just there that's sort of bent over, and it seems to be especially unhappy when there's any kind of SATA device connected. So just having a bit of a look underneath it again, and I mean, yeah, once again there's no obvious, like, nothing at all jumps out like, oh, there's the problem. Well, there's one more to test. Right, I'm going to leave that one on my sofa because I don't want to put it back upright in the box, because putting it upright in the box is going to entail it rattling around a bit. Right, well, third and final, fourth and final even. Come on. This one is also in the cardboard sleeve that they come in, and it's also filthy. This one also seems to have come with a lot of accessories. I don't know if it's come with the dog tags. No, there's... Oh yeah, it has. They're still sealed as well. So this is number 8439. Crispy says I'd still try different RAM just to see. I mean, 3 out of 4. Look, if they were all behaving the same way, and they looked fine, I would agree with you. But when they're behaving in a really weird way that's not how a board with incompatible RAM behaves, and when they have physical damage, that's not RAM. I mean, right. I said I'd test the RAM just quickly, so I'll do that. Just to make sure that it's not killed the RAM. But yeah, I mean, if it was having like an... I mean, I guess number 3, I can believe it's RAM. That's what I'll say. Number 3, it might be memory related. But also there's a really obviously dodgy cap on the memory. So it might be that related, you know? Right. So let's just make sure that it hasn't killed my memory. Will these... I'm not sure these will fit next to each other. Let's do one at a time. Is that right? That's right. Come on. Okay, I think this board just has overclock settings saved. Come on. Do your thing. Do your Asus thing. $79? So you can't see the postcode on this board, but it's giving me 79. Doesn't do that normally. Try the outer slot with this other DIMM. You never know. Come on. 78. Yeah, I think it might have killed my RAM. I can't be sure. I'll have to check it in a more era appropriate board just in case. But that's not a good sign. I mean, if it's killed the RAM, then we know what the problem is. And this is why you don't test motherboards using hypers. Which these are not, these are crap Micron. Well, I don't know if they're crap per se, but they're common. Era appropriate and yet common. They're a good balance between the two. Okay. Well, board number 4, visually at a glance everything looks in order. Yeah, there's no obvious like memory clips feel good as well. Where did I leave the CPU? I didn't leave it in the board, did I? No, I didn't. No, it is. Question is, was it the second board or the third that killed the RAM? The third board did post sometimes and then stopped posting completely. So it was the third board, definitely. Okay, maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions just because there's a blindingly obvious fault on the memory VRM. Right. Well, more RAM. Where's my RAM? This stuff is 1333666 without a voltage rating. Oh, I should really change the scene, shouldn't I? And it's single rank. Brain Power B63 single rank PCB for anyone who's interested. Oh, hold on. These both have labels on the back of them that say good. Right, one sec. Alright. Yes. As you can see, my filing system is very advanced. So this is a dual rank D9JN kit 1600 777 bin. Is that seated? Yeah, it looks seated. Let's connect everything up. I have faith. Please fucking work. Fully seated? Yeah, it's fully seated. Get the thermal mass on there. C1. That's fine. Good luck. Yeah, thanks. That, I'm willing to say, might be the RAM. I'm 100% willing to say potentially that that is memory compatibility. No, there's 2 gig. Okay, I have a bunch of single rank Dominator sticks. Alright. C9 D9 GTs, I believe. Yep, those are GTs. Single rank. If this doesn't work with it, it can't be memory compatibility. And it's only the 1600 C9 bin, so I'm not too bothered if this board fucks the RAM as well. Come on. Really? E1? I'm just going to hold down the clear CMOS button for a bit. Do you ever have one of those days? Alright, let's try unplugging the SATA devices, because that's the problem that the other board had. This is acting a lot like the other board did now. Okay, no, the other board didn't give me E1 ever. Fucking pieces of shit. Right. Oh, for fuck's sake. What is there to test? Your mic is set to very wideband, my sub keeps going off. What do you mean, what do you mean your sub going off? Subwoofer? I mean, yeah, I don't have any kind of like filtering on the audio whatsoever. And it's just picking up fucking everything. Yeah, there is a road outside. It's not impossible that the mic might... I think sometimes I can hear a very low rumble. From like lorries going past. Come on. For goodness sakes. Right, what remains is to confirm if that memory really was killed by testing it in something a bit more era appropriate. Yeah, it was subtle, took me a minute to notice every once in a while. Yeah, that will be lorries going past then. Even I'm not noticing them, but yeah, it's a good mic insofar as it picks everything up. Because that's what a good mic is supposed to do, right? Is pick everything up and make it your problem. Whereas a bad mic would not pick those things up. Because bad mics don't make it your problem, bad mics decide for themselves what they're picking up and what they're not. And that's bad. because maybe they mess with what you want. It is legitimately bad. Okay. Put the accessories back together. There we go, get back in there. Right. Oh, I forgot to unplug one of the fans. What wonderful timing. The good news is that the X48 Northbridge has an IHS. So I'm actually not really worried about putting pressure on it. And frankly, judging by the physical damage that they showed up with, these boards have been through a hell of a lot worse than just me, like, you know, doing everything I can to handle them with full care and attention. But you know, it's necessarily a bit awkward to handle motherboards. Back in the box, sort of, enough. Right. I'll just be a moment. I'm just going to go and grab something from a different room, if I can find the bloody thing. Right, I found something. It's in a bag. I found an Asus P5KC. Possibly the worst board for DDR3 overclocking in the world. Actually, that's not true, because there's going to be like completely locked boards that aren't even trying. However, 2 DDR2 and 1 DDR3 per channel. It does work. Why did I leave my... There's my thermal mass. What's in it right now? E50 something, whatever. CPU power. Basically, if this board doesn't boot with that RAM, it does mean, I suspect, that the RAM was murdered in cold blood by a Foxconn motherboard. Go on. Is that in? That's in. You in? That's in, right? GPU in. Just post testing, so no need for anything fancy. Postcard. One day I will have my postcard cam set up. Today, I'm sorry to say, is not that day. Oh, fucking Asus. The front panel connector isn't labelled. Let's take a wild guess. Nope. 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 Okay, hold on. It's got to be one of you. Everything is connected that needs to be, yes? Yes. Alright. Kill power. Let's pop a CMOS battery in there for good luck. And let's look up the manual online. P5KC manual, enter. Jumper is page 226, there we are. Connectors, wait, hold on. It's not jumper, it's just the front panel connector. Rear panel connectors, internal connectors. I guess it's going to be under either rear panel connectors or internal connectors. No, because rear panel is the rear I/O. Right, of course. Internal connectors, floppy disk drive, don't care. IDE, don't care. SATA, don't care. More SATA, don't care. Digital audio, USB, don't care, don't care. Optical drive, don't care. Firewire, don't care. Fans, don't care. Serial port, don't care. Chassis intrusion, ha ha ha! Wait, no, that's front panel audio. Fuck off. Fuck off front panel audio. 24 pin, don't care, that's plugged in. Yes, fucking finally. Right. So it is my first guess was correct. I was just being ginger about it. So this is the power switch. Hey, there we go. So it's got as far as D7. It's still got as far as D7. It's very much still on D7. Let's try that one more time for good luck. D7. You know what? Clearly I ought to be giving you a view of this. I can't just sit here and read postcodes to you. Is that going to be okay? Yeah, I think I may have scraped the HDMI cable against the mic. Can I unhook that? And no, okay. Let's just back off on that a little bit then. You can see the postcode very clearly from there. Also, my camera is saying R0 minutes, which is interesting. Because my camera has not been recording. But maybe I accidentally hit the record button at some point today and I've filled up the SD card. Well, that doesn't actually matter. Yeah. So if anyone's wondering, that's not what it's supposed to do. Now I have a hell of a time reaching across the camera to get the memory out. What am I going to do about that? I'm going to lean over this way. Okay. So let's pop some XMS3 in, just to confirm that the board works. Get in there, come on. There we are. Yeah, okay. I'm going to need the camera out of the way a bit. Stupid pile of garbage. I might be missing something. I don't know if it does it have a jumper? I don't think it has a jumper. Oh, the front panel is documented, it's just there. So that's where the front panel connector is documented, that's where the front panel connector is. Lovely. Right. Well, that's interesting at least. Infinity says, I come in and the first thing I hear is Mick calling his hardware a stupid pile of garbage. Well, it is. It is, though. One thing worked and then nothing worked. 3 of the 4 Foxconn Blackopses seem to be dead, and now I'm just trying to find out if one of them killed my RAM as well. But the board that I'm trying to find that out on isn't chuffing posting. I don't know why I think this is going to do any good. Unlucky to say the least. Yep. Right. Either these kits have all been murdered by various Foxconn Blackopses, which is not impossible, or this board is trolling me. I should try another kit that hasn't been in the blocks yet. Even just a single stick. Random DDR2 stick, perhaps. D7. This raises the fascinating possibility that it's killed the memory in such a way that the memory now kills boards or memory controllers. Shit. Well, this is a concern. What is D7? I mean, it's something memory related. I don't like the P5KC, but like, for fuck's sake. Did I just put pressure on the chipset? That's a P45 board, that was a bad idea. P35 even. No console input device. I didn't have a keyboard plugged in, did I? I don't think I had my keyboard plugged in. One way to find out. Keyboard's definitely plugged in right now. Oh, no postcard there. I think I did have the keyboard plugged in. I'm not certain. Definitely do right now. No, that's still D7ing. The keyboard's definitely plugged in now. Maybe it needs a disk drive. Who knows? D5, D7. All right. I mean, what we've discovered is that 3 of the 4 Foxconn Blackopses don't immediately work. One of them does. As far as how to move forwards, I need to do more testing, but I also need to give it a rest. There's a reason that I have, been off my regular schedule, and I've been going for nearly 2 hours now. It's lots of swapping out hardware. That's a strain on my back, and also nothing's working and I'm getting annoyed. The point of this stream was that if there was an explosion or a fire, it would at least be caught on camera, and we are past the point where there's going to be an unintentional explosion or fire, and rapidly approaching the point where there might be an intentional one. So I think it's actually time to leave it for now, and I'm going to go do something else for a bit, and then I'll troubleshoot on my own time. But yes, thank you all for dropping by. Cat asked triple channel. No, it's 2 DDR2 slots and 1 DDR3 slot for each channel. You can either use the DDR2 or the DDR3 on this board. But yeah, I will post updates in my Discord as and when. But I'm going to take a bit of a break for now, because the absolute last thing that I want to do is put too much stress on my back and make it worse, because that's the reason that I've not been on my 2 streams a week schedule, and it's the reason that I'm just dropping in now. And yeah, thank you all for being here, because I do actually really enjoy streaming. I really appreciate it, and I realise it's probably not been that entertaining, but it's been really nice for me, and I thank you for that. Yeah, wish it was better news. I'll see where I go from here. I'll probably post in the Hardware Bot Discord, ask if anyone's interested in a broken Foxconn Black Ops. You never know. I'd rather they went to someone interested in trying to fix them than they went to someone who just, didn't care. Or they got, just destroyed. That would suck. But also, it would suck to have, lost a load of money because of this. So, swings and roundabouts, right? Well, anyway. Yes, thank you and goodbye.